Blanket, no, I'm not. 3 days later, here comes a set of fucking oranges under my fucking gate.
A what?
Right? A set of oranges, clothes. Right? 3 days later, my face, I'm fucked up. I don't even recognize myself in the mirror. That's how fucked up they started calling me raccoon when they started letting me out of my cell. I had to take showers for fucking 3 months with handcuffs. They would not let me out of that cell without handcuffs. And then a couple of days after, three days later, they finally throw in oranges. About an hour after that, here comes the nurse, right? The nurse, as soon as they opened up the door, she looked at me. She was like, "You could damn near see her tear come down her eye." You know, and then after she left, then they threw a bedroll. They come over and they say, "Step to the back of your cell." They open up the gate and threw a bedroll in there. Right? So now I can make my bed and get a blanket and shit. A couple days after that, they call me down to a room. There's a cop in there. Right? And I says, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Well, you're being charged with assault on an officer." I said, "What?" "Yeah, D felony. That's my third violent assault within 10 years. Just on a freaking skim of everything, 10 years. That means it's a life sentence, automatic life sentence. And on a D felony, the minimum on the D felony is 15 to life. Right? And you know, and I said, "Well, what about me?" He goes, "Well, what about you?" I said, "Fuck you. This interview's over. Fuck you. Take your charges. I ain't signing shit. I ain't nothing. You know?" I called the guard. I said, "Yo, take me back to my cell. I'm done with this guy, cop." But I got charged with a D felony assault against an officer.
And they gotta beat you.
And they offered me 7 years after about 6 months, 7 months waiting. They offered me 7 years. I said, "What did you? Hell no. No way, no way." You know, I ain't taking shit. I'm going to trial. Well, finally at trial, they bring it down 1-3. But I picked jury and everything. We're ready to go. And I said, "I ain't taking shit, man. No way. I did not assault this freaking cop. And they fucking fucked me up, man." So, but that was a major turning point in my life. Because I was so fucking pissed and angry. I was so angry at all. I was in a little cell. SHU, boxed. You know, and there was nothing I could do. And I just, one day, I was so mad I wanted to murder everybody, everything, man. And I just couldn't take it. I fell right to my knees and I just fucking started crying like a baby, man. And then all of a sudden, this sort of peace just came over me. Right? And then I just started to like sort of accept the situation. I says, "Well, this is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about it. If it's meant for me to spend the rest of my life in prison, then I guess that's what it is. And I tell you what, if I do go, I'm gonna spend them days in prison trying to help other prisoners out, however which way I can."
So what was it like after you got beat? Like,
so 17 months later, I went to trial and I got acquitted.
what about the officer? Did he take a stand? The officer that was punching you? Did he give a testimony?
Yeah, they both testified. Yeah, not the one that beat me.
Oh.
The one I hit and the other officer that was on the unit, and they both lied. And they got caught in their lies about what happened. And not only that, you need a serious physical injury. He goes, the hospital prescribed him ibuprofen and everything for the pain, and but he didn't fill the script. He said he had ibuprofen at home. But not only that, I got all the paperwork to everything. He pulled a double that day. He worked another shift after because in the paperwork, the one piece of paper was signed at a particular time within the shift that he was working when the incident happened. And then on another piece of paper, he signed during the shift after his shift. So he didn't go right home. You see what I'm saying? So But that didn't come out in trial, but that would have come out in appeal.
So your lawyer was able to get that paperwork?
No.
How'd you get it?
No. The only thing that got me is the jury was, that I testified and they believed me over them, but they both lied. They both when they said that I don't know, he came up, I don't know, but they both contradicted each other. There was no, he said I hit him 2 times in the exact same place on the neck. No, they just fucked up in their story. But
So
they
what was
would
it?
not say, they didn't say that he ran right in the middle of us fighting.
What was it like after that when you got beat and thrown in the cell? Like, what was it like to live like that in your cell?
No, like I told you, man.
I mean, the first
I was
day.
angry as a motherfucker, man. I was bouncing off the walls.
Could you move? I mean,
I was pissed the fuck off. Move?
The first day when you were beaten, could you move all right or no? You just laid there.
I was able to. Well, yeah. At first, I was like in shock, man. Yeah. I was in shock, man, for a minute. How do you think you'd feel?
No, I'm just asking.
Just think about how you would feel in that.
I don't know what I was.
They stripped you. I felt like I got fucking raped.
Yeah, I was wondering what was.
I felt like I got straight up raped, man.
I was just wondering what it's like. What would go through your mind? How it feels?
Murder.
Yeah.
Fucking murder. Kill that motherfucker. Yeah. And that's how I felt, man, for a little while. And then all of a sudden I couldn't handle it no more. It was just too much. I'm like, oh, God, please. That's when I first started reading the Bible. Well, no, that's when I really started. It was the pocket Psalms and Proverbs with the New Testament.
Hey, you ever see?
I read it 9 times while I was in there. But this was after I got over the anger and everything. When God brought me to my knees, man, and it totally calmed me. I was good after that. I was dancing in my cell. I was drawing. I was good. I was good after that.
Is that what you said when you have PSTD? Is that from?
PTSD? No, it's from being in and out of jail.
Oh.
They call it institutionalization. You're just used to a certain way of life, and there's no way you're fucking changing. That's why I'm cool out here by myself, man. I'm good with this, man. I've been by myself all the time, and I do much better. Yeah, man, shit. And they always gave me medication to help me. I did this without the medication. I would have died that day, dude, if you didn't get me that water. I was so dehydrated, dude. I was malnutrition because food don't do you any good when you drink it. I was pissing out my asshole for months and months and months. All right? I was so fucked up, man. I had no freaking strength in me whatsoever. I could barely get up, man, to come out here to take a piss. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't get me that water, man, my vitals at that time were probably so out of whack. I probably would not have survived that night. That night, I probably would have laid down and just died. My whole system would have shut right down. That's how bad I was, bro. That's a fact, man. And days afterwards, when I started coming around and everything, dude, and I thought about that really, I know. I do. You got me on those vitamins. You got me that water, dude. And nobody else was there to do that for me, man. They couldn't, nobody. Just you. You were the only one.
How'd you know to call me?
You saved my life. It just popped in my head, man. I gotta call David. And you just happened and you were right there, man. Right there, man. I sucked that water down, man, like I was in a desert for freaking however many days, man. That was like oasis. I'm telling you what, man, I don't care what it is. You ever need anything, man? I don't care whether you need help moving, you need help with any kind of project or whatever, man. I'm behind you, dude. I don't care. I don't care if you're going to fight these freaking behind you, man. I got your back. I'm going to do the best I can to freaking protect you and help you, man. I'm going to do anything to help you out, man. I mean that, man. I mean that.
Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get healthier and healthier.
Oh.
That's.
Oh, God's doing that for me. You don't have to worry. You thank God for that one. Because God is doing it, man. He's got me, man. He's always had me, really. You know? And he brought you here, too. He did, man. He sure did. You didn't just help me. You helped save my life, man. You sure did. Yup. I would have been dead that night. I know it, man. I felt that, man. I felt like, no, this is definitely it. And believe me, I've been close to death many times. I was stabbed. I had car wrecks. I was beat half to freaking death. I felt death before. And I knew that day, man. I said, I will not get through this day if I don't get me some water, man. Ain't no way I'm going to be able to. No, I couldn't do it. I went like that because I thought I would be able to do it. But when I woke up that night, or that morning, after I said, okay, after I had my last drink on the 18th, the night of the 18th, I went to sleep, and I woke up that morning. Oh, man. I was drenched. Head to toe soaked. My quilts, everything was soaked. I was like shaking, like, I was not good. I was not good, and I was so thirsty. I'm like, yup, nope, I'm not, I'm telling you. Meet you till down by the river.
How'd you know about me?
Through other people. Remember, it's a long time ago. They just talk about, you're a pretty tough dude in Schenectady, and this and that. That's all. A fighter, and you know your shit, martial arts, all that stuff. That's all. He got tight with Jim. He was on his way down, man.
Yeah.
He was messed up on the medications and stuff like that. When Jimmy died and my bike got stuck in his storage unit, and I lost that without getting, I lost about 6,400 on that. Yup. No. Right. Jimmy gave me 600. So yeah, no, I lost about 5,900 on that because I had about 6,500 invested in.
Were you actually riding that thing?
I bought the bike for 4,500, but I spent about $2,000 in other details and stuff.
Were you driving it?
I was riding it without a license, but I was too nervous. And then when I couldn't get my license, I was pissed off and I started drinking again. And then I started trying to ride it when I was drunk.
Oh, boy.
And that was not good. I dropped it a couple times. I dropped it in the driveway before I could get 3 feet. I was so drunk. Because I was pissed off. I couldn't get my license
You
back.
could have got killed.
So I started drinking again. Yeah, so that's the reason I accept what happened.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? That I didn't get it back.
Stuff too?
Oh, no. When I came up here, I was determined to be done. I told them they come up here because a friend of ours died. That's the only reason they come out here. He come out from way out west somewhere. He's back out here, but I told both of them, no, I told you guys before you even got here what was going on with me. All right, this is not a freaking party. This ain't you could come over here and just get all fucked up and bring that street bullshit in here. You're not doing that. You need a place to stay, a safe, decent place, quiet place. This is the place.
But he was falling down drunk.
Yeah, no, they were all fucked up, man. And he came here fucking drunk after I already told him to leave. And I told him, I said, what the fuck are you doing? I told you, I don't want this shit. Oh, he goes, it's like that. I said, yeah, it's fucking like that. Go back to the fucking street, motherfucker, because I told you and told you and told you. I ain't deal with that shit. And he caught an attitude like, I said, listen, if you can't fucking hear me, get the fuck away from me. And he left, but he's all cool now. He's like, you know, we're still friends, but we've been friends for a long time. You know? And I hate that when I tell somebody something and they say, yeah, they get it, and then they pull a fucking bullshit. Apparently they didn't listen to me and they didn't get it, and I put up with it for 12 days. And you know what? That was 12 days longer that I had to wait to deal with what I had to do for myself. But I did, because I started weaning myself off while they were here, right? But by the time they left, it was only maybe 2 days after they left, right? I don't know exactly what day they left, but it wasn't too many days after that. It was the 19th, and I haven't had a beer since. Well, the 18th.
You get tempted to go back to drinking, or
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
What's keep you from even thinking that way?
I just woke up to what alcohol is doing to me, period. You know, I just woke up. You know, brought me to the street. I'm living in the street on the curb, hating every freaking minute of it, dealing with a bunch of asshole knuckleheads, all a bunch of freaking. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I can't do this no more. I didn't even want to be doing it. I didn't even want to be doing it. I was like stuck. You know? But then I said, hey, I don't have to be stuck. I said, bing, yeah, I could go to those woods. I told you the story about 10 years ago or so when my father was living over here in Southgate Apartments, and Bob was over here on Daisy Lane. And I used to have to walk back and forth around these woods to go to my father's house and then to go back to Bob's when I was staying with Bob. And these woods, they spoke to me. Every time I walk by these woods, man, I'm like, something is up. I felt this, I'm telling you, man. I can't describe it or anything. You know? But then when this happened, on April 1st, I knew I didn't get here till April 2nd. I spent my first night in Vail with a fire. I was freezing my ass off. But I had a tent in my buddy Bob's car. He lives on Union Street right now. I had my duffel bag with a little tent in it. It was a tent this girl gave me. And when she gave it to me, too, she says, here. I said, well, I really don't need it. I'm sleeping in a garage. Not a garage, but a parking garage. You know? Because I didn't sleep at Tent City with all those I had it, you know what I'm saying? I dealt with them all day long and all night on the street. I'm not going back and sleeping and, you know, compounding tents and shit where everybody's robbing each other, stealing each other, fighting, buzzing. But I says, you never know, I might need this tent. She goes, her name is, what's her name? Nora. And she had a white German Shepherd. She had her car, and she got in trouble, and she ended up in jail. She's in Saratoga County Jail now. But it's last summer, right? Well, it was going into winter, and she gave me that tent. And I says, well, you know what? That tent was perfect to fit in my duffel bag. I said, I'll take this tent. She goes, Randy, this tent's a special tent. This tent is going to help you, man. I says, well, I hope so. I don't know when, but I hope so. She says, this tent, you know, because she's Indian, too. She's Indian and straight up tattoos, little cocky, little tough shit, too. But she's about our age and everything, too, you know. And sure enough, April 2nd, I called my boy. The next day, I went down to Stewart's across the street from the Vail Park, and I waited for him to get up. And I call him because he's a late sleeper. He don't get up till about 11, 12 o'clock. You know, he don't get out of the house sometimes till 1 or 2. Lately, he's been getting up a little earlier and everything, so that's good for his health. But, yep, I called him up on the 2nd, and I says, Bob, I says, I need that bag, and I need that tent, and I'm going in the woods over by the park. I came up here, and I ended up there, right? And I ended up there, I didn't see down here right away, right? But that sufficed for April. It got me through, you know, but then I'm saying, I can't stay here. This is too And then, I'm looking down here, and I'm looking down here, and I'm looking down here, and I'm like, this place it's calling me. It's calling me to come down here. And so I stayed there from the 2nd to the 28th, and I came down here on the 28th and reestablished everything. But my tent got dilapidated, this and that, so I called up my buddy. Already offered to help me out. My long-time school buddy I ain't seen 35 years. We were best friends back in like 3rd or 4th grade, 5th grade, and we went separate distances in high school. We just sort of, yep. And so I took him up on it. I says, hey, so I got back to him through Messenger. I says, Danny, I says, I need some help, Danny. He goes, Randy, he says, what is it? What do you need? I said, listen, man, I says, I'm struggling with this tent, the poles are breaking. I took a picture of it. I sent it to him. It was all dilapidated. I had to sleep with my feet sticking out of the tent. I couldn't close the freaking zipper door. I couldn't close the door. The tarp was small. I only had a couple of feet over the front of it. I'm like, no, I need a bigger tent, Danny, and I need a bigger tent and a bigger tarp, man. He says, Randy, I got you. 2 days later, he come by with this tent, that tarp. He brought me underwear. He brought me socks. He brought me food. He was just here the other day. He brought me more food and water. Man, I put this tent up. I says, okay, that's it. I'm definitely gonna, I knew I was moving forward. I was still drinking. When he brought me this tent. But I wasn't drinking as much. I was calming down, but I was still drinking more than I did when I weaned myself off. I was going, a quart of vodka would last me 2 to 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Where normally I'd be through that in a day. So, yeah. And once I got this put up, man, I was like, okay, now I got a place I can lay back and relax and do what I got to do. I needed to have the proper shelter, and, because detoxing and being sick and stuff like that, you know what I mean? To have to do it and what I was in, couldn't do it.
How was it? Did he like seeing this tent up? Did he?
He loves it, yeah. He loved this. He loved it. He's like, yeah, Randy, okay. He's so happy. And he's a Christian too, Catholic. He's the one that gave me this rosary. That's a blessed rosary. And I put it on my hat. Got it hanging off the back. I didn't like having it on my neck. That's why I went out and bought this. Because I love Jesus. I do. There's no, forget about it, man. Yes, you could cut my head off. I will not deny Jesus Christ. No way. No. Don't let me get a hold of that sword, because I just might cut your head off, buddy. You know what I'm saying? No, I will never, ever. I say never, but I won't ever deny Jesus Christ. I can't do it. It's not in my heart. It's not in my blood. It's not in my soul. There's no way. But, yeah. He came out here the other day, about probably 3 days ago or so. He brought me some more food, another gallon of water, And we talked. He said how proud he is, how happy he is. He says, man, the place is nice, Looks good. He looked like he's glad I was doing good, much better.
Yeah, if you had that little tent all through these months, it would have been a totally different story, right?
Oh yeah. There ain't no question about that. Well, it would have just took longer to get here.
It wouldn't have been as fun. I mean,
it would have just took longer.
Yeah.
That's all. Because eventually, I would have got my money. I would have borrowed more money from Bob. But it's like like that. Them guys, they put my deal off 12 days. Because what they were doing was only, upsetting me and keeping me going. So I got put off 12 days there. And living in a spot like that, that was just putting me off longer. So, but, you know, listen, I accomplished what I came out here to accomplish. Now I'm just gaining more whatever. But the initial stuff that I wanted to accomplish, I accomplished in less than 3 months out here. In less than 3 months. Yep.